This is Thursday, February 27th, and let's see behind me, words up there. Quiz tomorrow, covering the information in this thing today. Turn in Camp Tecumseh stuff, turn in the last day to donate for the B points as far as the Julian Center, and money is tomorrow. Homework looks like that, not due until Tuesday. Looks like this on the actual web page. Do the questioning things, especially because the top ones up there are about magic lens, which might be kind of tough. And then we get to our stuff for today. So to do the quick rewindy bits, because it just always makes it easier on me, the very journey, you have a move you over to there. That we have Blockboard Jackson. Yeah, on the other side of her. Yeah, that works. Or you can go all the way to that far side down there in front of Muhammad. Either one's fine with me. All right. The very first thing to exist in Greek mythology was?
Chaos. Chaos.
And what did chaos look like?
Pudding.
Nicely done. And then eventually chaos split to form the first two gods. The first two gods were?
Gaia and Uranus. I remember that.
And Gaia or Gaia, also known as Mother Earth. And then you have Uranus or Uranus.
Mother Sky. Father Sky.
Father Sky. And then they decide to have the first set of babies ever born and the first set of, wait, how many were there that were born?
3.
What gender were they?
Male.
Nicely done. You do realize I can hear you and I keep charging you points. Just make sure you're aware of that. And then on top of that, how big were they?
Big as mountains.
Bigger than the mountains. And then so you have to the and then to that gender. And then to Does anyone remember their official actual name?
No. Heraeus or whatever.
Hecatonachires. Again, not making you memorize, just curious. And that means, again, the 100-handed. How many heads do they have?
50.
Nicely done. They have the 50 heads. Here is your, I'll usually just refer to them as the big ugly monsters because they're not trying to ugly shame them, but they were kind of horrifying.
Call them Hecatons.
And then they had actual names, which now with my high quality recording device, you should actually be able to read their names and see like their actual faces, like a real high quality camera. No more potato, radish quality. And then, which of their two parents loved them the most?
Gaia.
Nicely done. How does Father Sky feel about them? And that's why. So what does Father Sky do about it?
He puts them in the hole.
What was the name of the hole?
Tartarus.
Nicely done. Tartarus, Tartarus. So it pulls them into a hole, makes them disappear. Years go by. Mother Earth, Father Sky have second set of babies. And how many are born this time?
3.
What gender are they?
Male.
Nicely done. Their official name is? Cyclops. So the Cyclops comes in. How many arms do they have?
2.
How many heads?
1.
Mouth?
1.
Nose?
1.
Ears?
2.
Eyeballs?
1.
Just checking. Our photograph of them there, and then we have their actual names again. They look totally adorable, much like me. And we got to Father Sky. Father Sky not throwing up when he sees. Size-wise, how do they compare to the? Nicely done. So much smaller than the previous ones. And then, did we get to their special ability?
They can't die. And they can grab
The fact
metal.
that they can bend and shape metal with their bare hands. And then, did we get to what they start doing with this ability?
They accidentally stop.
So that's where we got. So the fact that you have 3 sons who are immortal and they can get hurt, they just can't die.
So they're Deadpool.
And so they go, pretty much, the way I look at it. And so they go through there and they hurt each other, do the stabby. Did you say we did get to their poor choice?
Yeah.
Alright, jumping in the cutty and then stabbing their fathers. So what does Father tell them? So again, if you hurt me again, and that was as far as we got?
No, they're both brothers.
So that's where you said throw them in with the older brothers, right? So now things are going well. Like most children, they've learned. Like, all right, we won't stab Dad. No more stabbing Daddy. Just like at your own house. Years go by till one day, one of the brothers ends up making a spear, all nice and sharp and pointy and super duper long, and he comes up with a plan that he's going to run up, throw it at his brother hard enough to go through his brother and pin him to the ground. And then he can run up and chop off all the body parts, and it's going to be hilarious. So he goes running after him with a big spear, and he goes, hi-ya, and throws it as hard as he can, and it does the wubba wubba spear sound, wubba 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 wubba, as it goes flying through the air. But the wubba wubba, his brother hears it coming, turns, yells, Matrix! And then dodges it, and it goes flying right past him, and it goes all the way, but it keeps traveling. Travel, and it ends up going all the way up into the sky.
Oh no.
Both brothers immediately go, uh-oh! And it keeps going up there and hits the thing in the sky, which is
Sky.
poor Father Sky, who's just sitting up there watching TV, and he's like, ooh, I love this ah! Children, what'd I tell you about stabbing Daddy? Yeah, just, and pulls it out, and he goes down there to talk to the 3 children. He goes, listen, I told you no more stabbing your father. If you did that again, you're going to have to go meet your older brothers. They're like, we have brothers? He's like, yeah, let's introduce you. Rolls up giant God's sleeve, rips out giant hole in earth. Giant hole is called
Tartarus.
This time, grabs giant chunk of metal, throws it into hole.
Oh, no.
And the 3 Cyclops go, metal? And they go like, look, there's metal. And he just goes, doink, 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 and pushes all 3 of them in. And they go, metal! He throws the dirt back on top, smash, pats it back down, makes them disappear, and they're never seen again until later in the story.
Until
Years go by again. Things are going pretty well until Mother Earth again goes to talk to Father Sky. And she goes, hey, Han. He goes, uh-huh. She goes, I know it's been a few years, but do you remember those children things we had? And he's like, yeah, yes, why? She goes, well, my friends were talking, and they introduced me to a phrase. And he's like, who are these friends? Just don't worry about it. So the phrase they introduced me to is, 3rd time's a charm. So apparently, 3rd child is supposed to be best child. And he's like, nah, that seems like shenanigans. She's like, well, there's only one way to find out. Let's go ahead and try to have 3rd baby and see what happens. He goes, all right, woman, listen. We're going to try this one last time. If you mess up this one, we're done, and we're never having babies again. She's like, I agree. He goes, if they make me sick to my stomach, I yeet them off the edge. She goes, yes, I'm pro yeeting. He goes, if they make anything that hurts me and I get hurt from it, I yeet them off the edge. She goes, you can yeet them away. He's like, all right, we're going to try it one last time, and then we're done with it. She's like, all right. So they roll up their sleeves. She goes, awkward finger wiggle. He goes, awkward finger wiggle. And they go, babies. And they fire out the, Micah, I can hear you. I'm going to start charging you points. Good job. So on that one, they wiggle the fingers. This time, when the babies pop out, she tries something different. Instead of 3 babies, instead of 6 babies, instead of 9 babies, she has a litter of 12 babies. It's like a puppy machine gun. It's like baby, and they just start firing up out of the ground. These babies are even smaller, smaller than the Cyclops. Come up to roughly the Cyclops' ankle bone, which means in comparison to the big ugly monsters, they're the size of like a pinky toenail. So really tiny in comparison. Plus, Mother Earth tries a new thing. Instead of just having boys, she creates something that's like a boy, but this time she puts a brain in it and she calls it a girl. She decides to have 2 different types of things. This third that joke works well because every time I tell it, I watch the boys go, feels like I'm being insulted. And they like watch like that, and they're like, oh, he keeps going. And it's like that, and the girl's like, so we have the 3rd set of children that are born. And the 3rd set of children born are called?
Humans.
No.
Giants.
This
Titans.
is
I'm
where
close.
the
I'm close.
Titans
I'm
come.
close.
Teen Titans.
There are 6
Don't ruin
boys
it.
and 6 girls that are born. They have names, but you
Oh,
don't
that's a
really
lot.
have to worry about them.
Neuronos.
The only 2 that we're going to really pay attention to are the ones over here. The others exist, and they're going to show up in stories. They're just not super duper
Why
important.
does Kronos has a head?
Well, again, Father Sky keeps his eyes covered when they're born, and he's like, describe these ones to me. She's like, they're adorable. He's like, not falling for that. She goes, well, they're tiny. And he's like, ooh, I like that. They probably can't hurt me. He's like, how many heads they have? She's like, 1. He's like, arms? She's like, 2. He's like, okay. He does like a little peeky. Wow. They're creepy, but kind of adorable. They're like little piglets. He's like, let's keep these. And he decides to keep this race of children. And so the Titans are born, 6 boys, 6 girls. Father Sky's finally happy. Mother Earth, finally happy. The babies don't disappear. They're happy. Years go by, and the Titans decide they want to honor mother and father. And the way they're going to honor mother and father is they decide they want to build a gigantic palace, a building that is going to be on top of a mountain. By being on top of a mountain, it's going to be really close to Father Sky, so they can talk to him. But at the same time, it's on Mother Earth, so they can talk to her. This palace they build is going to be called
Olympus.
Mount Olympus. These are the 12 gods that build Mount Olympus. And in that Mount Olympus, each one of them builds their own throne. That way they can sit there and have a conversation with mom and dad, and they design their own one. So how many thrones are on Mount Olympus?
12.
Because of the original 12 Titans, there are 12 thrones. With their 12 thrones at Mount Olympus, things continue well, and all of the gods are happy. Till one day, Mother Earth calls the 12 Titans into Mount Olympus. They're like, yes, Mumsy, what's up? She goes, hey, I'd like to have a conversation with you. And they're like, is it about the girl who's using her iPad right now? And they said, no, it's a whole different thing we're going to talk. They said, no, it's a different thing we're going to end up talking about. And she goes, here's the thing. So I've been talking to some of my friends. They're like, oh, that's never good. She goes, no, it's not that bad. And they introduced me to a thing that I think I want to have. And they're like, what anything for you, Mom? What is it you want? She goes, well, I have children, and I love my children. They go, thank you, Mom. She goes, you're welcome. But what I think I want is a thing called grandbabies. They're like, ooh, I've heard of grandbabies. You should definitely have those. She goes, I know. They go, where are you going to buy them from? She goes, apparently you can't buy them. I'm like, oh, no. She goes, apparently I need my sons to go out and get me some grandbabies. They're like, well, Mother, anything for you. She goes, so John, I need you to go get married and start making me grandbabies. So the 6 male Titans go, yes, Mom, we're going to get married and we're going to get you grandbabies. So they go out and start looking to get married. And they realize pretty quickly the choosing's pretty slim. There's actually not a whole lot of people to pick from. Actually, there's only 6 people to pick from. So
Actually, 7.
when the 6 of them get married, they end up marrying their sisters and have our first set. It's not their fault. No one else has been created yet. So these 6 male Titans marry the 6 female sisters, and they start filling the world with grandbabies. And then those grandbabies meet the other grandbabies, and they start making great grandbabies. And we start filling the world with all of these Titans that are everywhere, and we call this land Kentucky, Greece. I don't know where your family's from, but that's fine. So now we have all of these little. Can you leave?
There's a term for that. It's called keeping the good news.
So now we have all these new grandbabies everywhere. Father Sky is happy. The Titans, like, hey, we've made Mother Earth happy. Things are well. Until one day, Mother Earth realizes she's not so happy. She loves her grandbabies. She loves her great-grandbabies. Well, the problem is, she realizes she still misses somebody. Who is it she misses?
Her old kids.
Her old kids.
She remembers the Uggo babies, and she's like, you know, ugly babies need love too. And she wants her ugly babies back. But there's someone stopping her from getting the ugly babies back. Father Sky. So if Father Sky is stopping her from being happy and getting the ugly babies back, she realizes there's only one solution, and that is
Divorce. Mommy.
Killing him.
I like how Chance thinks. So he thinks like a Greek god. So she realizes the only way for this to work, I'm going to have to kill Father Sky. Now, the drawback is she doesn't have arms, so she can't do it herself. So she decides that she's going to hire the first assassin. So she starts talking to her 6 sons, and she calls them in to figure out which one of them is going to help her out in this job.
Kronos.
She calls in the first son to come talk to her. And he walks in and she goes, hey, I'd like to have a conversation. He's like, yes, Mom, anything. She goes, what are your thoughts on becoming king of all the gods? He's like, oh, that'd be awesome. There's like so much power. wait, isn't Dad king of all the gods? She goes, yeah, he is. What are your thoughts on killing your father? And he's like, oh, I kind of like my dad. I don't want to kill him. She's like, oh, JK, you almost fell for it. Classic joke. Sit in your next brother, please. And he goes and brings in the next brother. And she's like, hey, how would you like to be king of all the gods? He gives the same answer. He's like, what about father? She's like, well, what are your thoughts on killing your father? He's like, I don't want to kill my dad. She's like, ha ha ha, JK, sit in the next brother. She does this for each brother until she gets to the last one. She's a little worn down by this point. And the last one to come in is a guy by the name of Cronus. And Cronus comes in. And she goes, hey, how would you like to be king of all the gods? And he's like, that sounds awesome. I'd love to have all that power. Delicious. And she goes, what about father? She was like, well, you have to kill your father. And I know. You probably was like, yeah, done, win. She goes, what now? He's like, yeah, I'll kill that guy. Can I get his power? And she's like, whoa, you're an eager one, aren't you? And he's like,
I knew this from the start.
And she goes,
Yeah, like you.
all right. So he agrees immediately to killing his father. He goes, do I like right now? She's like, whoa, settle down, Tiger. She's like, you're not quite strong enough to do it. Allow me to help you. She goes, I have to create a weapon for you. So she is going to create for him a thing called a scythe. S-C-Y-T-H-E. Scythe is the thing you're going to see up here in that picture that he's holding. It's the long stick with the little thing that comes off of it.
It's a sick one. It's a sick one. See his story.
If you're having trouble seeing
the
it,
naked cheerleader.
it looks something like this.
Wait, the naked side?
You still see me talking. You'll know it's because my mouth is moving. It's like your mouth, but on my face. So she says, I'm going to make for you a scythe that you can use to kill your father. Now, the scythe is made out of a thing called adamantium. And adamantium is supposed to be the strongest metal to ever exist. It was so strong that no human or god could shape it. Only she could. For those of you who know your Marvel mythology, it shows up in Wolverine. It's what his skeleton, his schnickety claws made out of was adamantium, because Marvel tapped into Greek mythology. She goes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the scythe, and it's going to allow you to attack your father. It might not kill him, but it's going to allow you to chop into him. And every time you chop into him, it's going to cause him so much pain that you're going to cause him to run away. He's like, ooh, sounds like fun. I'm in. He goes, when do I do it? She goes, well, it's well known that every day Father Sky comes down to give me a hug and a kiss. When he comes down to give me a hug and kiss, you jump up and go, booga, 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 chop, chop. He's like, I like that plan. So, what time of day would it be that Sky comes down to give the earth night. So that was the night times with the sky coming down to give a hug and a kiss. So he goes and hides behind a mountain, and waits for Uranus to come down. That night, when Uranus shows up, he was like, hey, hon, I'm going to bed. Let me give you a hug and kiss. She's like, yes, come closer. He comes down. All of a sudden, Cronus jumps up from behind a mountain. He's like, hey, Dad, how are you? And Uranus is like, hey, that's kind of creepy. What you doing? He's like, just hanging out. He's like, what's behind your back? And he's like, you know, just a sharp, pointy stick. And Uranus is like, oh, that only made it creepier. I'm going to run away now because you're kind of like, eh. And so Uranus takes off running. As soon as he does, Cronus takes off after him. And Cronus goes, much like Super Mario Brothers, goes and jumps off the top of a mountain, like, "Ba-doing!" and goes choppy at his father. Every time he goes choppy into his father, a chunk of Father Sky comes flying off. These chunks, whenever they fall down to Earth, form new creatures. Some are going to become gods, some are monsters, some are other things that are going to show up in our stories. They're going to refer back to this. But Cronus keeps like getting like chop, chop, and keeps chasing Uranus until Uranus gets to the very edge of the Earth, to the point where his little feet are on the edge. He's doing that wiggle hand, and Cronus comes down going choppy. And then right before he gets to that final like choppy and is coming down, Uranus goes, wait, I have something for you. And Cronus goes, is it a present? And Uranus goes, it is a present. And Cronus goes, I love presents. And Uranus goes, you're in luck. And he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a curse and he throws it at him. And he goes, you are my child and you are overthrowing me. So I curse you that as long as you sit on my throne, one of your children shall overthrow you. And once you are overthrown, one of their children will overthrow them. And as long as my bloodline is on that throne, you shall be overthrown by one of your children. And then he wiggles his fingers to make it official. Yeah. Kronos goes, no, not a curse. I don't care. And jumps at his father. And when he does, right before it connects again, Uranus turns and jumps. And here in Greek mythology is where he disappears. In all of the stories, this is the last time we see Uranus. Some stories say that he just floats off into space like a little astronaut. Other stories say that he goes underneath the earth and hangs onto a stalactite like Luke Skywalker at the end of Empire. Others say that he just disappears and goes poof and is gone. However you look at it though, Uranus is gone. Kronos becomes the new king of all the gods. Cronus goes back up to Mount Olympus and tells everyone, I am now the new king of the gods. You have to worship me. Now, here's the part where some kids who like to use logic will go, I have issues with that story. I'm like, what issues could you possibly have? Like, did he just kill this guy? Yes, he killed this guy. Yes, he kills the sky. So now what's up there is Stepdaddy Sky. They don't really explain it. There's just a new sky that's up there that's not old sky. And so Cronus is now the new leader of the gods, and old sky is gone. By the way, why did Mother Earth want Uranus overthrown?
Because he wanted her own children.
And that is going to lead to our problem on Monday. Because now he's supposed to release them, but he
Can't.
I'm not going to give that away. That's a story for Monday. Tomorrow we don't finish this because what are we doing tomorrow?
Yes.